Coming up next, getting ready for crowded roads and airports over the Thanksgiving holiday, and a new travel challenge at a local airport.
Plus, a colorful new honor for a Penn State legend.
Reinforces that Franco loved every minute of everything he did, and that's how he was.
And how a Penn State alum is still making an impact 20 years after his death. The Center County Report starts now. Good afternoon, I'm Alyssa Wagner.
And I'm Matt Cabral. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, whether you're flying or driving, get ready for a big crowds and heavy traffic starting this weekend. AAA says it's going to be the busiest Thanksgiving period in several years, with 55 million people traveling and a record air passengers number. Thousands will hit the road from Center County, including the Penn State student exodus and others heading out of the town. For those flying out of State College, another layer of challenge, one less major airline. If you're hitting the road or flying for the holiday next week, you're not alone. AAA predicts this will be the third busiest Thanksgiving travel period and more than 2 decades of tracking it. State College Regional Airport expects a busy holiday season, but this year there's one less major airline servicing the airport. Delta suspended flights to and from here in June because of a short staffing.
Their crew situation is as bad, if not worse, than the other airlines.
James Meyer, executive director of the Center County Airport Authority, says Delta hopes to bring service back, but it may not happen for 2 more years. Airlines nationwide are still trying to staff up after pandemic layovers. The State College Regional Airport on average pushes out around 8 flights per day, but with the holidays being around the corner, airline services have added an extra 3 to 4 flights to accommodate to busy holiday traffic. Frequent flyer Ken Stevenson says it's still not enough.
Maybe more flights. I mean, I think Chicago only has like two flights a day, something like that. Maybe a later flight in the afternoon would be great, but I don't know if that's logistically possible. So,
Meyer says if Delta does return in 2025, the flights will be to and from Detroit.
For thousands of international students at Penn State, the decision of traveling home can be a tough one. From high costs to long flights, sometimes it's not worth it. John Calavita reports.
In just a few days, Penn State's busy campus of 48,000 students will look more like a ghost town as most of them head home for the Thanksgiving holiday. Mercedes Batista is one of them, traveling home to the Dominican Republic. She's excited to see family, but the trip comes at a cost.
I would say it's a lot, both in the effort they have to put to go home and both in the economic side.
According to Penn State Global, there are over 9,000 international students at University Park and nearly 11,000 international students across all Penn State campuses. So this long trek home is a common occurrence. Batista says the flight to Santo Domingo will cost her more than $2,000 and includes a long layover.
Typically, it's like an hour, but this time my flight got changed, so now the layover is going to be 8 hours.
Many international students don't even have the option to go home and instead will stay on campus, like Colombia native Isaac Arabiles Venegas.
The pandemic really had a toll in a lot of prices overall, like for plane tickets, everything in general. So the only time I've been back to my country actually has been last winter.
Penn State does allow students to stay in residence halls, but that's an extra $500+. Venegas says his trip home last Christmas wasn't easy. He had to catch a bus from State College to New York, then a flight to Atlanta, then another flight finally home to Bogota, Colombia. Yiming Wong hasn't seen his family in over 3 years, but thanks to a Pennsylvania host family he had in high school, Thanksgiving is something he loves.
Turkey, right? And mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, casserole, you know, that is really delicious.
Wong won't go home to China until after he graduates in May, but he's thankful for his time here at the holidays.
It's kind of like most important step for my American journeys.
In University Park, I'm John Calavita for the Center County Report.
Here's an example of how expensive it can be. A flight from State College to Wong's home in Beijing currently costs $3,600 on Expedia and would be more than 40 hours of travel.
A group of Penn State families is suing the university over its COVID response. The case has actually been winding its way through the court system for 3 years. The families want a tuition refund after Penn State switched to remote learning during COVID. They claim remote options are subpar and not even close to an in-person education. Penn State isn't the only school facing a lawsuit over pandemic changes. In similar class actions, the University of Pennsylvania has proposed a $4 million settlement, while Point Park University did a settlement for more than $1 million.
A Penn State alum and veteran is still making an impact 20 years after his death. I spoke with his family.
When I walk into a room full of uniforms, I never question if they have my back.
Every year, Veterans Day honors those who serve. But for the Fons family, it's much more than that.
He was born on Veterans Day. He was born to be a soldier. It's the way we feel.
I often wonder where he'd be now, how far he would have taken his military career.
Captain Brian Fons graduated from Penn State in 1996, following in his father and sister's footsteps.
He knew from the time he was 12 what he wanted to do when he grew up, and he never lost that sight.
After graduation, he entered active duty in Fort Drum, New York. He then served in Egypt, Japan, and Iraq, where he died.
One day we had to go into an area where we were told there was a lot of weapons being held, and we had to ransack the village, and we literally tore these houses apart. I remember going up to Brian and saying, sir, hey, look, we didn't find anything. He goes, did you tear everything apart? I go, we tore it to the floor up. He goes, good, now go back and put it all back together. That just goes to a testament to his character. He was looking out for everybody, not just himself.
Even though Captain Fons died over 20 years ago, he is still making an impact today.
By the time you get to your first or second year, you realize how important the family is to Penn State ROTC.
The Captain Brian Fons Award is presented annually to a graduating Penn State Army ROTC student who best demonstrates the spirit, leadership, and courage of Brian Fons.
We love our military and we're very, very thankful. Their commitment to service to our country, it is not an easy life.
The money helps the recipient begin their military career with buying uniforms, boots, and other required gear.
To have them take that load off me when I had roughly $300 to my name was a huge help.
The Fons family will choose the 21st Captain Brian Fons Memorial Award winner in April.
Also at Penn State, a new memorial pays tribute to a beloved Nittany Lion and an NFL star. John Drager reports.
Franco Harris was a legend at Penn State and in the NFL.
Franco loved every minute of everything he did, and that's how he was.
His widow Dana says Franco's personality made him a fan favorite.
You don't just meet Franco, you got to experience him, because when he talked to you, that was it. You were the world, and he appreciated that.
She was in State College on Sunday for an event to honor Harris. Penn State Sports Museum Director Lou Lazaro says fans asked about creating a memorial for Harris, who died last year.
And they were asking us, are you going to have some kind of memorial tribute? Is there something that you're going to do for Franco?
They thought about it and struck gold with an idea.
The thing that we really kind of hit upon as being probably one of Franco's most defining characteristics was his absolute willingness to take photos with everybody.
That led to the creation of a mosaic mural.
The mosaic is made up of about 2,000 pictures with friends and fans with the late running back. When talking to Dana Harris, she said that when fans came up to him, it wasn't your normal meet and greet.
And so it is with the mural, friends and fans looking at special moments and reliving their glory days.
He was on the opposing team, and there's a photo in his yearbook of him trying to tackle Franco.
Decades of immaculate memories now captured in one place. At Beaver Stadium, I'm John Drager for the Center County Report.
The mural is inside the museum lobby. You can see it from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and Sundays from noon to 4 p.m.
Still to come on the Center County Report, how long will this stretch of dry weather continue? We check the 7-day forecast.
And went to see the tree lighting in State College. Also coming up, a popular food and drink event is back, helping to raise money for a great cause. A popular event returns to Center County this weekend with plenty of food and drinks and a big goal: to bring the community together for a great cause. Paige McCarrick has the story.
It's the signature fundraising event for Center County United Way, Taste of the Town. The event returns this weekend to State College. Last year, snow canceled the fun, but it's back this Sunday at the Penn State Hotel featuring more than 30 local restaurants, breweries, wineries, and distilleries with samples available. Guests can also join in silent and live auctions.
Folks get to come together, have a fun evening of conversation and enjoyment.
Taste of the Town began more than 25 years ago in 1997. It started as part of the Project AIDS program, created to bring people together in the community for a good cause. When the AIDS program closed, Taste of the Town was gifted to Center County United Way to continue fundraising.
We are an organization that raises funds so other organizations can do their work and help folks. So we have 25 partner agencies, and we raise funds so that they are able to address needs within the community. We focus on health, education, and financial stability.
Here behind me at the Penn State Hotel is where Taste of the Town will be held this Sunday, November 19th from 5 to 8 p.m. Currently, there are 400 people scheduled to be in attendance.
Taste of the Town wouldn't happen without some of our amazing sponsors. And once again this year, Stuckey Mitsubishi Supercenter is serving as our presenting sponsor, and we're so grateful for that partnership because that allows us to do even more work in the community.
The original founder calls the event an experience born out of love for people in need. In State College, I'm Paige McCarrick for the Center County Report.
There are plenty of other ways to help too. If you're interested in becoming a United Way volunteer, you can find more information on their website, ccunitedway.org.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm student meteorologist Jeremy Laguerre here with your forecast and taking a look above Penn State campus, taking a look above Beaver Stadium this afternoon. It's a beautiful blue sky right now. It's beautiful. It's sunny out right now, and temperatures are pretty okay for this time of year, at least 50 degrees right now here in State College with a slight breeze out there from the north-northwest at 6 miles an hour. Dew point right now is at 28, so it's feeling a little bit dry out there. Now, taking a look at our weather headlines for this week, above average temperatures, we're going to see temperatures steadily climb above average as we go throughout the week, with almost 10 degrees above average for Thursday. As we go into Friday and Saturday, that's when we have the most chance of rain for this week, and then we're going to cool back down after that rain in this weekend. Now, taking a look at our temperatures across the state, we're generally in the 40s and 50s with slightly warmer temperatures to our southeast, already in the mid-50s in places like Harrisburg and Philadelphia. And this is really where we're going to stay across the state, this kind of temperature range in the 40s and 50s for the rest of the day today. Now, taking a look at our almanac, because the normal high for this time of year is 49 degrees, and this is where we're going to be around today. We might push 50 today, but then as we go throughout the week, temperatures are going to be up to 10 degrees above average, especially later this week on Thursday. Now, taking a look at our radar, as you can see, we're mostly clear for now, and for the next 48 hours, it's really just going to stay clear. We may have a few clouds here and there, but overall, as you can see, going into this evening, we are clear. Going into tomorrow morning, a few clouds will move into the area for tomorrow morning, but overall, we're going to be pretty clear. Now, as we go into Thursday, we're going to be staying sunny, but this is going to change as we go into Friday, because as we go into Friday, a cold front will approach from the north, and this is going to be bringing us rain for Friday night into early Saturday. Now, the good news is this rain is going to move out of our area Saturday morning, and by Saturday evening, we should be mostly clear across the Commonwealth. Now, going into Sunday, we may have a few clouds around, and we can't rule out the chance of an isolated shower, but overall, the best rain chance is for late Friday into early Saturday. But for today here in State College, 51 degrees with mostly sunny skies. We're going to drop down to the 20s tonight with a little bit of a breeze, winds light and variable. 28 degrees is the expected low for tonight. And then for tomorrow, a high of 55 degrees with sunny skies. It's going to be a beautiful day. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to be in the 50s for this week. Warmest day will be on Thursday, where we'll be in the 60s, and then as we go into Friday and Saturday, that's when our rain chance is. But the good news is that rain looks like it's going to clear up before the football game.
Thanks, Jeremy. Hopefully it will stay dry for the football game. And now to Gianna Kataya with sports.
Coming up in sports, Penn State's women's basketball is off to a hot start. We have the highlights from last night's game against Kansas. Also ahead, a change on the Penn State football coaching staff after another frustrating loss. I'm Gianna Kataya with sports. We start with a big change on the Penn State football coaching staff. Offensive coordinator Mike Yursich was fired on Sunday with 2 games left in the regular season. He's led the team since 2021. Jaywan Sider and Ty Howell will serve as interim coordinators. James Franklin talked about the change.
This was my decision.
But obviously, you know, I don't do anything in a silo. I run things up the ladder and have conversations. But yeah, this was my decision.
Penn State has dropped to number 12 after Saturday's frustrating loss to Michigan. The Nittany Lions now focus on trying to regroup. For the Nittany Lions, any hopes of making it to the Big Ten championship game or the playoffs died on Saturday as they suffered their second loss of the season. Despite Michigan's head coach sitting out of the game because of a 3-game suspension, the Wolverines grinded out a 24-15 win. Penn State's offense again struggled to move the ball down the field, as Drew Aller only tallied 70 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown, while also rushing for a touchdown. Coach James Franklin placed much of the blame on play calling.
We got to do a better job of calling a game to allow a quarterback to get into rhythm. That is critical. We got to find easy completions for a quarterback to get into rhythm.
Franklin also faced questions about 2 failed 2-point conversions.
We're down by 4. We wanted to put ourselves in a position to get it back to a field goal game. Again, those were all the numbers we worked through from an analytics standpoint. As a staff, everybody was comfortable with that. It was the right thing to do.
It's another agonizing loss for the Lions against a marquee opponent. Michigan dominated the Nittany Lions on the ground, racking up 227 rushing yards. Michigan's star running back Blake Corum led the day with 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Wolverines never even attempted a pass beyond the second quarter. With the big Penn State-Michigan game in town, some of the biggest stars in college football arrived in State College. Matt Scalzo talked with them.
Fox Big Noon Kickoff rolled into Penn State over the weekend. Host Rob Stone and analysts Brady Quinn, Mark Ingram, Matt Liner, and Urban Meyer broadcasted the show outside Beaver Stadium for one of the top matchups of the year.
Beaver Stadium and Penn State is one of the top destinations for the crew. So when Stone and Quinn learned they'd be back for the second year in a row, they couldn't wait.
Last year, the crew was here for Ohio State, Penn State, and Stone remembered the energy.
It's not a mid-tier program as far as Big Noon Kickoff is concerned. Whenever we find out we're coming out here to Happy Valley, it is a place that we know will have energy and electricity around it. We also know there'll be a big-time program and it'll be a big-time game. So whenever Penn State's on our schedule, there's smiles on our faces.
Former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn agreed.
So it's one of my favorite places to go to be able to be a part of a college football game. Got to play Penn State when I was in college. Didn't get the chance to come to Happy Valley, but it really is one of the best stops on our entire season.
Quinn preps for the show by watching hours of film during the week.
Just watching a lot of tape. I mean, you're watching countless tape, all top 25 teams. Obviously, the game that we're going to be at, you're going to watch a couple of games of that team too.
Stone says his prep starts after the show wraps up.
My week of preparation starts as soon as we're done with the show. It's watching back last week's show and getting a tab on the 2 programs that we're covering intimately as far as the game that we're going to be at, and then also the big matchups.
The Fox Kickoff Show heads to Maryland this week in University Park. I'm Matt Scalzo for the Center County Report.
The Nittany Lions return to Beaver Stadium for their final home game on Saturday against Rutgers. Kickoff is at noon, and you can listen to the game live on Penn State Com Radio. On to women's basketball. The Lady Lions took down Kansas last night inside the Bryce Jordan Center. Mac Young has the highlights.
The skies were clear outside the Bryce Jordan Center Monday night, but inside it was raining buckets. The Penn State Lady Lions defeated the Kansas Jayhawks 91-85 while shooting 46% from the field. McKenna Marisa dropped 34 points, a season high. She was quick to credit her teammates for the big night.
This team makes it easy. We spread the floor. We have so many weapons, shooters, people who are ready to score, people who are ready to pass, and be unselfish. And that's just our team this year, and that's why I love playing with everyone.
Penn State scored 90 or more points for the 3rd game in a row to start this season. They only scored 90 points 3 times all of last year, and they did most of the damage from out here in three-point land, scoring 12 three-pointers. The Lady Lions knocked down the deep ball at an impressive rate, going 12 for 26 from long range. Head coach Carolyn Keeger believes her team's offense is even more in store and is hoping their early season strides will put more fans in the BJC seats.
can't say enough about this team, so please tell your friends, because this is going to be a fun team to watch. And these group and these young ladies deserve people in the stands, and we're only going to continue to get better.
From University Park, I'm Mac Young for the Center County Report.
The Lady Lions' next game is Thursday at St. John's in New York City. The men's team plays tonight at home against St. Francis. There's heartbreak and happiness for Penn State soccer. The men's team lost in the Big Ten Championship over the weekend and will not advance to the national tournament, but the women are moving on. The Nittany Lions beat Central Connecticut State 7-0 at Jeffrey Field in the NCAA first round on Friday. Peyton Linehan led the way with her second career hat trick. They'll take on Santa Clara in the second round Friday night at home. And Penn State men's hockey will be back on the road to Michigan this week. The Lions played Michigan State over the weekend. In Game 1, they battled back from a 3-goal deficit to tie before Ryan Kerwin netted the winner in the shootout. Game 2 saw the Spartans break a tie with a pair of third-period goals to win. Coach Guy Godowski will look for his 200th career win in Ann Arbor this week. That's all we have for sports. Back to you, Matt and Alyssa.
Thanks, Gianna. Women's soccer is so electric. Hopefully they can get a deep tournament run going. Coming up next, the tree is up in downtown State College. Find out when and where the holiday events begin this week. The holidays are almost here, and the season kicks off this week in State College. The Christmas tree is up along College Avenue, and the annual Light Up the Night event is set for Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. There's plenty to do, including a Santa visit, free trolley rides, performances, and a tree lighting ceremony. Activities will happen on Allen Street at MLK Plaza.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us Friday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and website. Have a good afternoon.